First of all, I'd just like to say, this tie right here is special to me. It was worn at my son's funeral, and I only wear it on special occasions. And this right here, I trust, is something special that's happening. The other thing that's special that's happening is after Ty went home to be with the Lord, I really was concerned about his son that was born he only saw for a very brief time before he left on assignment, how he'd be doing. And after 1 year, we spent the day with him yesterday. That was the one ray of sunshine through the clouds this week. So 2 special things have happened here, and I thank you for what you're doing. It's been over a year since 4 brave Americans were tragically killed in Benghazi. And after 1 year, we know very few answers that we have been asking for the last year. We don't know much more than we did a year ago. 2 of my heroes while growing up were John F. Kennedy and Martin Luther King. Reverend King made the statement that justice delayed is justice denied. It's been over a year. We have no justice, and we have very few truthful answers that have been provided. Public testimony is necessary in front of a committee such as this so that the American people can get the truth. So I thank you very much for what you're doing here. Now, voters, they need to know the truth about what happened in Benghazi in order to protect America's freedoms. Now, a lot of people, unfortunately, say that we can't tell the people the truth. We have to answer, I can't answer that question, such as the ambassador did. There are too many of these witnesses that are testifying behind closed doors, and we don't know what they said. We don't see their faces on TV to tell whether they're credible witnesses. We don't see whether or not the right questions were asked to get to the truth, or whether meaningless questions were asked instead. So it's very important that we have public testimony by credible witnesses with firsthand, not hearsay, knowledge of the situation. That is why it is imperative that you call people like General Ham. You call people like Ty's friends who have contacted various committees and wanted to testify through their attorney, but have not been issued subpoenas. There are people out there that have firsthand knowledge, and public testimony is necessary. The voters need to have the truth about Benghazi so that the voters can protect the freedom of America. Now, after 1 year, there's certain questions that I would like to have answered. Recently, I sent a letter to the president who offered to reach out for answers. Some of the questions I asked, I would like to direct to this body as well. I am the father of Ty Woods, who was killed while heroically defending the American consulate in Benghazi. These are some of the questions. Who made the decision to stand down, and when and why was that decision made? Now, there is some conflict as to whether or not there was an order to stand down. There are very credible sources that say that Ty and 5 of his Special Forces workers were denied 3 times. Once they went, were denied. They waited a certain period of time. Second time they were denied. They waited another period of time. Third time they were denied. They went anyway. We need to ask the people that were there, not rely upon hearsay evidence as to whether or not there was an order to stand down. More importantly, we also need to find out who it was that gave that order to stand down and why that order was given to stand down. The former admiral of the Pacific Fleet said that in all of his decades of service, this has never happened where a rescue attempt was not at least attempted immediately. And immediately does not mean the next day. Immediately does not mean 8, 9, 10 hours later. When is also important because Ambassador Stevens was alive for a substantial period of time after he made that initial distress call. It's very possible that there would have been no loss of life if that first order to stand down had not been given. We need to find that out. Another question, is it true that General Ham was relieved from duty for refusing to follow the order not to rescue? I have had a general tell me that according to his intel, that General Ham was relieved of duty because immediately after the distress call was relayed to him, he was told to stand down. And his words, according to this general, were, I don't speak like this, screw it. And within moments, General Ham was relieved of his duty by an inferior officer. Now, the spin that was given by the administration was that this was a pre-scheduled rotation of generals. Well, I think it's an insult to the intelligence of the American community to say that a general in the middle of a battle would be relieved because of a pre-scheduled rotation, and especially by an inferior officer. We need to have that direct testimony by General Ham, and it needs to be public so that the voters can view the credibility of who's telling the truth, because the ARB contradicts that and says that there was not any denial of support by anyone from Washington at page 37. Finally, this is a very personal question to me, but a very important question, and that is, if the president's child were in Benghazi, would the rescue attempt have been more aggressive? There's very strong evidence of what the answer to that question is, and I will let every American make that decision for themselves. Thank you.